For those of you finding me for the first time, let me introduce myself. My name is Jonathan Tabius Avery. It is my pleasure to help bring some of the notes from Aisha's early life. Before Avery, before the stones. She gave me permission to share some of her notes with you. So, shall we continue? There are fragments from Aisha's early years that were not understood when they first occurred, only recognized much later. Let her own words, not of magic, not of things that many do not face, and many brush off as just imagination. But what if, like for Aisha, it is more than that? After fear comes a moment where everything changes. Not because the danger is gone, but because something else enters the space. She walked forward, slowly at first, her breathing still uneven, her body still shaking, but she walked. She didn't turn around. She didn't run. She followed the path. The forest began to change. The darkness softened. The air warmed. And ahead, there was light. Not a harsh light. Not blinding. But golden. Gentle. Calling her forward. She stepped out of the trees and into a clearing. It was nothing like the forest. The space opened wide around her. Sunlight filled it. Warm, alive. For the first time since entering the forest, she felt safe. There was water. She could hear it before she saw it. A soft, continuous sound, like something breathing. And then she saw it. A pool clear still, reflecting the light above it. A small stream fed into it, falling gently over rock. And everywhere, there was life. Flowers of every color. Plants growing between stones. Movement, sound, presence. It felt, watched. But not in fear, in awareness. She stepped closer to the water, and as she did, the voice returned. "Welcome, young one." She stopped. This voice was different. Older. Grounded. Certain. "You have done well." Something in her relaxed, not completely, but enough. Enter the water. She hesitated. Not from fear this time, but from uncertainty. Could she trust this place? After what she had just experienced? "It will heal you." The voice was gentle, steady. "Here, nothing can harm you." She looked down. Only then realizing for the first time she was covered in cuts and scratches along her legs, her arms, the marks left by the forest. Slowly, she stepped into the water. It was warm. Not just on her skin, but deeper, as if it moved through her, calming everything it touched. She sank lower, letting the water cover her wounds, and watched as they disappeared. Healing. Instantly. Completely. She sat there, in the stillness, and for the first time, she closed her eyes. It felt so peaceful, and just for a moment, she allowed herself to rest. She heard the voice again, gently speaking. "Open your eyes." She did. And this time, she was not alone. Standing near the edge of the clearing, by the mouth of a small cave, was a figure. Small in stature, but ancient in presence. Wrapped in simple cloth, adorned with bone, and symbols she did not yet understand. He watched her. Not as something strange, but as something expected. And when he smiled, it wasn't unsettling. It was knowing. As though he had been waiting a very long time. "When you are ready." His voice now, different again, warmer. "Come and sit." This was the moment when everything changed. Not because she had reached safety, but because she had reached a place of learning. The forest had tested her. Now, she would begin to understand why. And the one who waited for her was about to show her who she really was. Some teachers don't arrive with answers. They arrive when you are finally ready to ask the right questions. She sat in the water, watching him. The small, ancient figure by the cave. He had not moved closer. He had not rushed her. He simply waited. And somehow, that made her trust him more. She stood slowly, the water falling away from her skin. No pain. No wounds. Only a strange sense of clarity. She stepped out of the pool, and for a moment she hesitated, not from fear, but from something new. Awareness. Awareness that she was being seen, not just as a child, but as something more. Come. His voice again. Gentle but commanding, like a teacher. She moved toward him, barefoot on the grass. The warmth of the clearing still around her, and as she approached she felt it. A presence not just from him, but from everything around her. The air, the ground, the space itself. As though the place was aware of her. She stopped a short distance away, unsure of what to say, or even what to ask. He smiled, not unkindly, not mockingly, but knowingly. You have many questions. She nodded. Of course she did, but none of them seemed to come out. Not in words, only feelings. He tilted his head slightly. Good. She blinked. That wasn't the answer she expected. If you already had answers, you would not be here. She frowned slightly. That made sense, but also didn't. Sit. He gestured to the grass. And she did, without thinking. Without questioning. For a moment, either of them spoke. The clearing was quiet. But not empty. Never empty. He smiled. Tell me, what do you think you are? The question felt strange, simple, but not simple. She opened her mouth, then stopped. Because suddenly, she wasn't sure. A child? A dreamer? Someone afraid of the dark? The old man watched her. Patient. Waiting. Then, he shook his head slightly. That is what you have been told. He shook his head. Not what you are. She felt something shift inside her, not fully understood, but undeniable. You walked the path. You faced what you created. And you did not leave it. She hadn't thought of it before now. She thought she had failed. You are learning. His voice held no judgment. No disappointment. Only certainty. Fear is not your enemy. But it must not lead. She listened. Really listened. Here. He gestured lightly around them. What you think has form. What you feel has weight. She remembered the forest. The footsteps. The shadow. That had been her. He nodded slightly. As if hearing the thought. And yet, you are still here. That matters. She looked at him now, more directly. And for the first time, she felt something else. Not fear. Not confusion, recognition. As if part of her already knew him. He smiled again. A little wider this time. Yes. She didn't remember asking the question. But he had answered it. You are not here by accident, Aisha. Her name. He said her name. As though it had always been his to say. And this, he gestured toward the pool, is only the beginning. This was the first time that Aisha began to understand that she was not just experiencing something, she was being trained. Not in the way we think of learning, but in something deeper. Something that would stay with her, long after she woke. And the one who sat before her was only the first of many she would meet. What she did not yet understand was that this moment would not remain isolated. It would return, in ways she could not yet see. Next time we will continue and hear what happened next.